You know what this is? By this time, you should know. There's been so many episodes. We don't know things.
We don't know things. We don't know a lot of things.
Back again with
lot.
Amanda.
Did we do one 2 weeks ago, or did we do one last weekend? Has it
We
been
did
2
one.
weeks?
It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, that led me into my first little thing. I was gonna see how you're doing, for real and stuff.
Yeah, this does not seem like 2 weeks has passed.
I know, it's going by fast.
Yeah, I was not expecting that, because when you texted me, we're on for this Saturday, I'm like, this Saturday we just did one, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, okay.
It feels like it goes by so fast now. Uh-oh, I lost you.
Older, it's just before it couldn't go fucking fast enough. You couldn't pay somebody to drag time faster, and now it's like, I don't know. I don't have time. I don't know where the week went.
They fly by so fast. It's ridiculous. I mean, Monday and Tuesday, I'm like, oh, this is the longest week.
Right? Oh my God. And can we talk about, please, how people refer to Thursday as, oh my God, it's Friday Eve. I'm like,
oh my God, no, I'm that person.
I hate you already. I hate you
I'm
already.
That person.
I fucking hate that shit. Shut up. Yeah. Yeah.
I tell my team, yeah, because I'm Friday is kind of like a half-ass day anyway for me. I mean, I have a lot of crap I have to get done on Fridays,
right?
But also my mentality is already
you're never focused.
It's the weekend. Yeah.
It's the weekend. Yeah. It's and it's not even by noon. This past Friday was a struggle for me. It was by 9:30. I'm like, I'm out. I'm done.
So basically, after you brush your teeth and
after I brushed my teeth, grabbed my coffee, came upstairs, sat down, I was
I'm done working.
Yeah, I think I put in a solid day. I mean,
honestly, we should be paid just to get showered, right? And get ready.
That's a lot.
That's part of work. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't have to go to work. So I should be paid for that.
You don't want me to show up with a sour ass. Nobody wants to smell that. No. And I mean, look, this was even a lot, putting on my mascara and filling in my brows today. And that's the extent I went to today.
You see the extent I went to. This is it.
Oh God.
I'm still in pajamas.
It's beautiful. I went out to brunch, right? So I made it out.
Yeah, you actually went back somewhere.
And I put my pajama pants back on. I was like, fuck this.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no point.
Lovely.
Yeah. I will say, though, I do try to dress up a little bit, even though I work from home, because I totally fell into that cycle during the pandemic of I'm not going anywhere. So why am I going to dirty other clothes? And then I'm like, well, I'm not really dirtying them because I'm not leaving the house.
Right.
Unless I
just wear the same ones.
Right, exactly. Unless a bottle of unless a bottle of barbecue sauce explodes on me, I don't think this is getting dirty.
Yeah,
but
which
whatever.
is a whole different story. Why we have a bottle of barbecue sauce?
Right. A full bottle, not always. Because barbecue sauce, you never know when you're going to need it. It's kind of like a break in case of emergency situation.
Don't get a ramekin. Just grab the whole bottle. Because
make sure it's a squeeze bottle, because that glass shit is just ridiculous. You got to sit there and tap on it. And then it's the right amount
a bubble
comes
pops
out. A bubble pops, and then it blows up. And then you have a pool of barbecue sauce when all you really needed was just a dollop, right?
Right. Yeah. But then you look like a maniac because you're like, oh, that's still good. Mm.
Yeah, I don't want to waste it. I'm trying to save money. You're just dragging your, whatever your
chicken
rib,
nugget,
French fry. You're like, it's okay. Hang on. I got a little bit to get here.
Okay, I got to tell you about this because it's so funny to me. Well, it's only funny to me.
Okay.
So my friend Jolie and Katie, they do podcasts with me every once in a while, and for the longest time now, we've wanted to get a tattoo that's the same for all three of us in the same spot because we sing together.
Oh, okay.
So that that's just kind of a fun little hobby we have.
Yeah, that
we've had for a long time. So So I told Julie I'm not ready for that. We've got to have it. We've got to have a time and a place to do that. Then I'm going to be like ready because I've never had a tattoo and I don't know how I'm going to take it and whatever.
I was trying to think if you had one or not.
No,
so,
I
okay.
don't. I don't. So, but I have semi agreed to this. Like I may do it. I'm not.
Yes.
I'm still on the fence, but I think it's a great idea. So I thought, where would be a place that I would, because we wanted treble clef, like at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So we want that because of the music, obviously.
Sure.
And I thought I was like, been thinking about this for years, and I was like, a great one for me would be behind my broken ear, that my Meniere's ear.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, it's kind of inconspicuous, not everybody will see it, and I was like, that'd be a good place for me, and it's kind of symbolic of the fact that I can't hear very well. Anyway, so what I did like several weeks ago, it's probably like over a month now, is I looked up on Amazon music notes and treble clefs as temporary tattoos. Just to try it out.
To try it out. Yeah.
Let me see how much this is going to bug me. Maybe it won't. Let me just see what it would look like. And so anyway, I promise this gets better. So yesterday, I've had it in my drawer forever, but I was like, I think I'm going to see what that looks like now. So I cut one out and did the whole like temporary tattoo where you hold the wet thing over it and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. But, because of holding the wet rag, it actually had the redness that looked like a real tattoo. So I never told Jolie and Katie that I bought temporary tattoos to see what this would look like. I just did it on my own terms and
right. Yeah.
So I was in a group chat with them yesterday, and I was like, it was such a good day. I watched this movie and that and the other thing. And then I was like, and also this happened. And I sent them a picture of it with the redness still there.
Right.
And it took me so much patience to wait for Jolie's response because, some people, they're busy. They're doing things. Right. So I'm like, when are they going to see this? Yes. So it took me so much patience to not go, by the way, I'm just kidding. So, but I didn't. I waited because I was like, I want to see.
You're right.
I wanted to see what he was going to. And her first response was, what the fuck? I thought we were going to do that together, bitch.
The perfect response too.
Oh my God. Yes. Because I said, it's fake, you silly goose egg. I was like, it's not real. I just wanted to see what it would look like. And she goes, oh, that's a great idea. And then she goes, my feelings were hurt for a minute though. So then I did the same thing. Like I put it here, look. Yep. And I was like, I got one there too now.
I got one there. Just start putting them all over.
Everywhere. Like, just have them everywhere. But it's already, like, coming off because I didn't clean it very well. But it did look cool. And Jason saw it. And he was like, I kind of like it. Which I was shocked. Because,
he doesn't have any tattoos either, right?
Neither one of us, yeah.
I think, you know what? I don't either. I feel like we're one of the few that came out of our college,
our generation,
20s, our generation
that didn't get a tramp stamp or something.
A tramp stamp, a butterfly, whatever the fuck it was, or the big
something
thing
right here, yes,
like the little heartbeat on your wrist, or the big thing now is like on your forearm.
Oh yeah,
how it's like a minuscule.
A whole ass Bible quote.
It's so funny because I'm like, oh, so we went from, decals that we're gonna place on our fucking walls in our house, and now we're doing it on our forearm instead.
Right.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. Like, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. Oh, really?
Really?
You couldn't read that in a book and be okay with it? You have to have it on your arm.
You're
forever.
Like, wait a minute. That's right. I'm strong. Fuck off.
Right.
Just don't
let me look down and remind myself.
Right?
Permanent thing that
Right.
that I'm okay. I'm not gonna die today because I didn't get my mac and cheese in time. I don't
Oh,
know.
God. It is
Whatever people
it
stress.
is incredible though that like how they used to be taboo and anybody with a tattoo was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to mess with that person. Like it used to
Right.
be, they led a hard life. They led a hard life. You could
Right.
see it on their face. They're like, yeah, this is somebody I'm sorry, that was my bad. I'll go. I'll take it.
It's funny because where I come from, my hometown, people still have an issue with people with a lot of tattoos. I don't know why there's a thing. It's just like there's this stereotype about people with tattoos in that town still.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just because it's small. So
I was just gonna say, I think it's probably because it's a small town, so you're
Yeah.
always gonna have collectively like that community, that group of people. You can slice and dice it however you want it. You and
Yeah.
I know who we're talking about,
what
but
it is. Yeah.
yeah, they would. Their kids are all gonna get something. That's just the way
yeah.
that it goes. But yeah, I kind of feel like we are the few now, whereas it used
Yes.
to be the few had a
Yeah.
tattoo. Yeah.
Oh, I agree 100% because now I'm like, I don't know anybody other than myself and Jason, well, and
Who
you
doesn't
now,
have one,
that
yeah.
doesn't have a
Yeah.
tattoo. And
Yeah.
many of these, like, I love them. I actually think they're wonderful. Like, as long as you pick the right
Same.
artist, and like some
Yeah.
of these people, I'm just like, God, that's beautiful. It just looks so great. And I mean, to each their own. I'm not saying you're cool if you have tattoos, you're cool if you don't have tattoos. I'm just saying do your shit. Whatever you feel. And like, I really do think they look great on some people. Some people not so much. They didn't pick the right artist. Santa looks like Jesus. I don't know. It's not my problem.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's some ones that I'm like, oh, like, please tell me that was a free one, like they were practicing on you.
Right.
Like you didn't pay
Wait,
out of
those are
pocket for
supposed to
that,
be
please.
doves kissing? Because it looks like elephants running in a
Yeah.
circle.
I was actually going to say it looks like 2 fried eggs sliding down a wall, but okay, I can see 2 doves.
Yes. Yes. And then you have the age issue.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that wherever you get your tattoo in 40 years, is it still going to look that cool? Some of them do, but you got to pick the right body part.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, your neck, we're going to start losing it. It's going to start getting loose. And those
already doing it. Look, there's a whole line right there.
right here. Yeah. Yeah.
I have it.
Right here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're going to get 2 doves, they ain't going to look like 2 doves come 60.
No.
More
they're
than
gonna look
likely.
like broken swan necks. They're going to be like,
Or
they were doves, now they're swans.
Or it's like this right here is going to hang down to where it looks like they're decapitated doves. You're just going to have it's just going to hang down. You can't see the dove's head.
Curtains.
So it's just going to,
I mean,
here's the show.
we'll have to have that little guy that pulls them back for the when the show starts.
Yeah.
Like,
Da-da-da-da.
da-da-da-da,
Oh my God.
and scene.
Yeah. I will say, like, older people with them look great. It doesn't look bad. I think, again, it's what you get if you have a
And
good
where.
artist
Yeah.
in the placement. I mean, it's just like
And some of these artists, I can't believe
what they
they
do.
do it.
Oh
It's
my
so
God.
amazing.
And the ones that like freehand shit,
Yeah,
like you're not on a flat surface.
right.
That's what amazes
And
me.
it like skin moves.
Skin
Like,
moves.
I just can't believe they can do it so precisely.
And how photographic realism they can get with some things. Like, it's just amazing. It's not like, the 40s or 50s where it was kind of the pinup style, where it was very cartoonish. Yeah, there was a certain look to that. Ed Hardy, remember that line growing up?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that Heads and Tails. It was, that for a long time. And then, I don't know, like the 90s, Tramp Stamp, the butterfly.
Yes.
Or
always.
it was the barbed wire around your bicep.
Yeah, always right there.
Yes.
Yes. Every dude had it.
Every dude. And females too. Like, it amazed me the kind of shit that they got. Or it was always something like, you got a heart, or you got a
Right.
star somewhere, like some random place, like, you know, on your ankle or something like that. It was just kind of a
Right.
but the thing I remember a lot of people would go in and they'd look on the wall. They're like, oh, I want that one. It was
So
like
then
you
everybody
went in
had the
there-
same
so
damn one.
everybody had the same one. It wasn't like you went in there with a concept, I think,
Right.
like you do now. It sounds like to me like it's a collaboration now. Like, you go in and you're like, this is kind of what I want going on. There's a guy I think out west in LA that does like Art Nouveau, and they're beautiful tattoos. And then there's a girl, I think from France, and she just does this very beautiful, delicate, almost like lace-like work.
Huh.
And it's gorgeous. But I've thought about that. I was like, man, that would look beautiful. I'd love that. But I'm like, yeah, but what would that look like when my skin starts to wrinkle? That's not gonna,
right.
like, that looks really great now, but it's not gonna look great. At least I don't. I'm trying to imagine. I'm like, I don't think that's gonna look pretty when, you know, things get pretty wrinkly, and you're like, why do you have dots all? I mean, it'd probably look like freckles on me, more freckles on me anyhow. Not that I, you know, have any more that I need. I'm pretty much well covered in them. I got some to spare.
Connect the dots. La 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 la.
Which I did. My friends and I would get bored, and like Sunday school was usually the place of all places. But I think
Like so much fun.
Yeah, I think in the early 90s, I think I ended up with the state of Texas on my left arm and Ross Perot. Yeah.
Oh, great choices.
Great choice. We all just kind of started drawing. It's like, oh, that kind of, oh yeah, I can see the real big ear. That must be Ross Perot. Oh, look, let's just go ahead and draw Texas next to it. So.
What a state to have chosen.
Right? I don't think Texas is that bad. Every state has its own shit to do.
Oh, that's true. I mean, Indiana. Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Like, I forget who I was talking with. It might have been my neighbor across the street. We're like, yeah, you know, I mean, Indiana's not the most exciting place to live by any stretch of the imagination, but
it's not the worst.
It's not the worst. And I'll tell you, like, the cost of lit living, the ability to save, like, I can't find that anywhere else. So
no, in the suburbs in Indiana, around Indianapolis, those suburbs have great home prices.
Great home prices. I mean, if you have a family, nice school districts, and a lot.
Yeah.
And they've always maintained, like, I feel like the suburbs, at least in my opinion, have not seen the cyclical effect like you get in the city, where for 2 decades it's gangbusters and then it drops down and it just becomes, you know, a black hole, and then it comes back up again.
Right.
You know, and now I think, I don't know, I think Indy, I don't care to go downtown as much as I used to. Like, when you guys live down there, Mass Ave is completely a different place. I mean, we've talked about this before. The bars, the bar scene, the club scene. I mean, not that we would be clubbing and barring it up like we did 10, 20 years ago, but like, it's different.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
No, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. And you know, like, that it's weird because of the way that downtown Indianapolis has become is different than the way that downtown Detroit has become.
I was going to ask you, like, because you guys usually come through when you head down to see your family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just curious, like, what is your take on Indy now that you've been out of it, all the growth that has come to Mass Ave, and how you guys experience Detroit and how we experience Indianapolis? Because I think, like, size-wise, aren't they fairly comparable? Well, Detroit might be bigger, but I feel like...
So Detroit, I'm not the one that can answer this absolutely correctly, but the population of Detroit is larger. But the actual, I think the city limits, I believe, Indianapolis.
Is bigger.
expands larger. I could be wrong, but I
could see
know
that,
we
yeah.
have more people. But also, if you look at where Indianapolis is and all the suburbs, it like Detroit is like we're right by the water. We're kind of
Right.
wagon wheels, so it can't expand for too long,
Right.
too far. But I can't answer that like wholeheartedly, knowing I just know that the population is still larger.
Okay.
But there's that whole per capita, all that bullshit. I
Yeah.
don't know any of that. I'm not smart enough to know all that. Jason knows it really well. He's great at it. But yeah, Indianapolis is also like the downtown Indianapolis area was always so much less impressive than when we first drove into Detroit. I was like, oh my God, look at all these tall ass skyscrapers,
Yeah.
like, and Indy has a few of them, but not
Correct.
many.
Right.
So like, I think also that's part of when you go into Detroit. But going back to my point is Detroit never, like, they didn't build up a whole bunch of new buildings, coming out of this, their bankruptcy and all that. So it's always looked like the same skyline, and kind of like we have a few that go up, but the downtown Indianapolis area, they did build up a ton of buildings.
Yeah.
And so now it's
much.
changed a lot. So going back to your question, when you said, how do you feel when you go through there? It doesn't feel the same. So we don't like to stay. So we went into Metro, maybe last year or the year before on our way down, and we had one drink and left. It just didn't feel the same. And you're surrounded outside by like just massive buildings, commercializing. We've talked about that.
Mass Ave feels like you're like this, like walking down a tunnel now. It doesn't feel the same. I feel like a lot of the places,
it doesn't have that loveliness to it.
No, it doesn't have like that independent vibe anymore. It's so commercialized down there. I mean,
I hate that.
Right, but that's the offshoot and the off point to it, is that you're going to get stuff that changes to the point that that's not why you liked it.
It's not recognizable.
No, and I think we've had offline conversations too. Like the Metro is a classic example because we've been going there for so long.
Right.
That was like the Sebastian of all gay bars in Indy.
Right.
Like that was like one of the best places to go to. And there were a lot of other gay bars around that are no longer. And I miss them. We
still have some of them up here.
Yeah.
Jason and I don't go to the ones up here as much because you don't have to, like what we've discussed before. Right. You don't feel like you need to go to a specific place for it because how diverse it is. So you can go anywhere and you're accepted. But yeah, like, and I also want to like back up for a second, because while that was how we loved Mass Avenue and all that, I have to remember that generations, this is now their Mass Avenue.
Yes.
And so I don't want to bash what's been
the
growth and all that, because that they're going to love that, and they're going to talk about it someday in 20 years in their podcast,
right? And
how much it's changed, so I don't want to like put this feeling out that not you, but that I'm bashing it, because it was a lovely place for us at the time that it existed.
No, I think that's an absolute fair point. And that's what I was going to say too, is like, for the time that we were down there doing our thing, I loved it. I absolutely enjoyed it. But now there's not a huge draw for me to go downtown. There really isn't, even as far as just like, I'm not a bar fly anymore.
I'm not either.
That's not what I want to go and do. So to pull me down there for something like that, I don't care to go and, there's a new bartender at such and such place and they're known for mixology. And I'm just like, I'm okay. And even with a lot of the restaurants downtown, I feel like there's some good ones that have come out in the last decade. But there's also a lot too that I think they want to be edgy and cool. And to me, it's just not good food. It's weird fucking food. I don't need edible flowers in my shit. Keep it.
It's the weirdest. Yeah, I know.
I just don't. I'm just like, that's a novelty to me. And I've never been keen on not novelty. My whole thing is like, if you can do it and do it well. Like, I want good tasting food. I don't want to pay $50 for a night out for edible flowers.
Right. Yeah.
I want a memorable dish that you just can't get anywhere else. You're going to be hard pressed to reinvent it at home and get close to the mark. So, but yeah, no, I think that's a fair point. It's changed and it's just kind of beyond what I want.
It's beyond us.
Yeah.
Now, based on what we're older, so clearly, like you said, I'm not going out to see like, oh, who's the new bartender? Let's go say hi. You know, it's not like that anymore. It's now like we spoke about in our last podcast, where if I go to a bar, I want to know there's a table that I'm going to be able to sit at.
And I'm not going to have to scream to have just a normal fucking conversation.
Right, yeah. And I think that just comes with age and maturity and a different level of maturity. Because, you know, a lot of people love that stuff and they're younger, and that's great because we did too. So
yes. The one thing I will say about like even where I live is I'm in the city limits, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's a suburb. I think what I miss is things that are in walking distance, like just a cafe. Like when I think of Europe, even the smallest of towns have a cafe that everybody goes and congregates at.
Yeah.
And it's just like America just doesn't have that. You know, it's kind of
your
local sports bar. Right. And I'm like, I don't want to go and do that and be part of it. Like, I really honestly hate sports bars. And I hate the fact that they're so big here.
They're huge everywhere.
Yeah. And I wish we would have had more something like the pub style. Like from England, you know, that we would have kept more, and that would have proliferated more. But because those are quaint, those are smaller, those are, I don't know. I just enjoy my time.
Those bars that are like the size of your thumb, but they have 42 TVs in them, all playing sports. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you go to I liked going to clubs and bars and stuff to actually meet people.
Yeah.
Not just sit in a living room full of TVs.
Right, because you can do that at home.
Right. I don't get it. But to each their own. Again, like, I'm not bashing all you people out there watching, because there are so many watching.
Yes.
That love their sports bars and 5,000 TVs in front of your face.
Right. With the same game on, half of them. So, like, no matter if you fall off your bar stool or not, you can still see the game.
Yeah, I love the bars that you have that'll have like 3 games on a big jumbotron, and then the Golden Girls on the random one. And you can't hear the Golden Girls because there are 3 games and all the people screaming, and it's like, why are they playing? And there's another one, there's a place down here, I'm not going to mention the name, but they always play Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse, but then they'll also have a game on the other one. So you got 2 TVs. One is either the guy that paints, what was his name with the big fro?
Oh, Bob Ross.
Yes. So they always have that or Pee Wee Herman and a game. And I'm like, oh, this is like the epitome of ADHD.
Not only that, but then like if there's going to be sound and it's not music, they're going to air the game, which I'm like,
right.
But you can see.
So then you're watching Bob Ross with screaming like, oh, he got it.
Yeah.
Like he's painting.
He's painting happy trees. There's a coin toss involved in this now. Okay.
It's so odd to me. It's like, how do you pay attention? And then when you go to a bar and they don't have the sound, thankfully they still have captioning. But who can read when they're drinking that much at a bar? Like, wait a minute, I gotta catch this. Hang on.
Hold on. What just happened? Yep.
I get it. Okay.
Got it.
Trees. Painting. Okay.
Painting trees. Got it.
It's so silly, but it happens a lot here. But there's a place that you would really like when you come up here someday. Mm-hmm. There's a place across the street, because you were just talking about, Europe and cafes. There's a place called Collect. I'm using that bar name because I'm not making fun of it. So it's pretty wonderful. They have it's tiny and it's 3 levels, but it's very small. But the rooftop, so when you go out onto the rooftop, it's like the door is like a hatchback to the rooftop. I'm not kidding. You go
Oh,
up these
really?
very, very straight up stairs.
Huh.
So you don't want to be drinking,
Right.
trying to get up those. And then the way that it opens is the stairs go this way and the door opens like that, and it's glass.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. And then you get to sit out and just kind of look over. It's
That's
literally
one
across
thing
the street.
I love is finding a place to sit outside
Yeah.
and not have the TVs.
Mhm.
Like just sit
There are
there, have a
none.
little bit of music in the background.
That's exactly what it is.
I fucking love that. Like that is
Mhm.
some of my favorite places to go. And I think that's why I like the cafes in Europe so much too, is because when it's warm out, everybody's sitting outside and you're
Yeah.
seated there for like a couple of hours just having a coffee
Hanging out,
or having a
yeah.
spritzer or something like that. And it's just catching up, having conversation. But I also think too that may go back to our generation where again, our phones were not fun, as you pointed out in the last episode. Like
Yeah.
they were for calling and calling only. And even then it
Right.
was like a 5-minute call because you had to pay for minutes, kids. That's right. You had to pay for minutes.
Yeah.
And you know, we still engaged. We were still talking with one
Mhm.
another. And I think it's funny too how many people go in, and I'm notorious for doing it now, and I hate it that I do, is I'm on my phone texting when I'm with people.
Yeah.
And it's like I try to get out of that and just put it into my purse and just
Yeah.
forget about it. Because
Yeah, it's tough to do.
yeah.
It's like what could be so important, but then I don't remember what wasn't so important.
Yeah, because we didn't I think it's the opportunity. We didn't have the opportunity
Yeah.
to text like we had now. So it just
Mhm.
didn't even think. But now we're involved with, and on one hand it's good, right? Like if my mom's having an issue that she needs me to come
Right.
down tomorrow, she can get to me, text me that night. I can make, oh yeah, I'm out tonight. I'll see you tomorrow around 11 o'clock.
Mhm.
So I can get back to her. But
Yeah.
then at the same time, it's like it's such an interruption with the people that you're
Mhm.
with.
Mhm. Going to that also to branch off of that a little bit, what I noticed is when I worked at Walgreens as a manager, we required our employees to call the store to call off. Now, what I've noticed in the past probably 10 years, bosses don't want you to call them. They just want you to text them because
Text
they
them,
don't want to
email,
have
yeah.
that conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because then, if you don't want to go into work or you're sick or whatever, it's a lot easier than trying to have a conversation through the phone than just sending a text. But it's funny because we used to require like no texting allowed. If you were sick, you had to call the store and we had to hear your voice, which seems archaic now, but
Well, it's kind of because yeah, and the thought is there's like what if you're sick, every time you're sick, you're gonna sound like shit. Like
Right.
like that's your gauge. Like
It's
I'm
so
sorry,
dumb. Yeah.
really have a migraine right now. Like I really have a migraine.
Right.
Like now it's acceptable.
Right.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
It's just
I mean, I just had to miss a day last week and it was because of my stomach. Well, obviously all of this part of me is fine. But
right.
you don't want me in that office.
You don't want to see, yeah, nobody wants me
with
in the
stomach
office.
issues.
The janitor does not want me in the office, okay? Let's just leave it at that. The other thing to piggyback off of that point too is how many times do you not have an office phone number? Remember, we would sit in cubes and everybody had their own phone. They had their own number. You had a direct line. Somebody could transfer from the main trunk line.
Yeah, you can't call us now.
There's
in
like
our office. There's no number to call us.
There's like a handful of us at my job that have a number, including myself, because I deal with vendors and clients and I don't want them calling my cell phone.
Right.
But any other person that I deal with at work, they have my cell phone number if they have to reach me outside of work because of the do you use Microsoft Teams at all?
Oh my gosh, all the time.
Yes.
It's on my cell phone also. Yeah.
Same. So like now at least they can still call me through Teams, but it's just so weird too.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about that is also when you have some kind of issue, my boss every once in a while has something come up and she's got to run her kids, down the street or something like that. Well, when you have Teams on your phone, then you can keep in contact with them if
Yes.
you're in your car and not sitting at your desk. And I love that about it. Like there have been times I've been like, okay, I've got to run, Jason down to his store for work. I'll be right back. But it's so nice to have email and Teams on my phone in case there is something major. Most of the time it's something I can respond to without having to log in or look it up on one of our systems that I can only do through my computer. So it's like sometimes it's just a quick question.
Sure.
And for that, I think it's wonderful, but it can also be invasive. I know what you're saying.
It can be. And I will say, usually when I take time off, I turn off my notifications. But my superior, he's awesome about that too. Like, because he does it. Like, if we know we're out of the office and something major is going on, like we will keep tabs on our email. Like we'll get in there and just check to see. But he and I both know it's like, if you need me and I am not there, you call me. You call me or text me directly to my cell phone. Like, and again, I'm just, my job, my level in the company kind of demands that, but I'm okay with that, and up until a point, like I said, I don't think if you want me 24/7, that's not going to be the job for me, and I'm going to be fucking miserable. So not going to do that.
Yeah.
And that's, I used to think that's kind of how you had to behave. And I think to a certain degree, when we were starting to come up in our careers, that was still expected. You put in the hours.
Oh, absolutely.
And
that proved that you wanted it.
Proved that you want it.
Yeah.
Okay, not just because I show up for the 8 hours that you fuckheads
already
are paying me.
Right.
Like, paying me anymore. Well, you're exempt. Well, what the fuck does that mean? It doesn't mean I'm exempt from having a life. Right. It's just like, I think, what I think is so interesting is that there's not more white collar unions out there because of how much exploitation comes from the exempt status.
It's awful. It's so bad. And
it's just been bred into us that is acceptable, that's okay.
So I like through my different jobs and careers, actually within just Walgreens, when I worked there, I went from hourly to that exempt salary kind of status.
And you get fucked.
I hated both of them for different reasons and then loved both of them at different times. Because I was like, at least when my day's over, I can't go over 40 hours, so I have to clock out and leave.
Right.
But the exempt thing also was nice because you knew every paycheck was going to be to the penny.
Yep.
So there were different things, but now, God, these people that are salaried, like they get raped.
Yes.
Like for the lack of a better term. But like a lot of the jobs that, Jason has had, they have been salaried. And when we took him all that stuff at Steinmart all those years ago, like he was working overnight and everything, but they didn't pay him more for it.
No.
Like, I don't know.
Because it's part of your job. It's part of your job. Well, the problem with that is okay, well, if it's part of my job and you're essentially paying me for, a little over 2,000 hours a year, right? At 40 hours a week. Then 1 week I should only have to work 10 hours.
Right.
Because I've already worked 2 weeks in one.
Yeah.
So, but no, we don't do that either.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no balance in it because it's just legal.
Yeah.
Because it's a labor issue. And
that's why I'm so shocked.
It's not addressed.
And that's why I'm just so shocked. I don't know why there's not more white collar unions other than it's just the mentality of, only blue collar physical labor because you could get hurt on the job, right? Whereas white collar, you really, quote, can't get physically hurt on the job. I mean, unless you crack your knee on your desk, which I've done 10 times over.
Desk.
Right? Like, I'm going to be like, God damn it, I need workers' comp. My knee hurts.
Right.
But maybe it's that. I don't know. But the exploitation of hours is unbelievable.
It's American.
Yeah.
And not to bash America, but we are the only country that works our people as hard as we do.
And I think it's just, on one hand, I think it's the history of the country of you came here with nothing, so you worked for everything that you had, and for most of us, I mean, people are going to call us out for, well, there was this group and there was that group.
I know.
Yeah, I fucking get it. But okay, let's just go on the average existence here. And most of the immigrants that came to the country had, fuck all in their pockets, and they built them, they worked hard, they worked long hours. And so I think it's just kind of been bred into us
standard.
That's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Which on one hand, I mean, that goes for our dominance and excellence, but also at what price to pay for it.
Right. I mean, we're all on different drugs for ADHD and stress and
depression. Yeah, exactly.
We got people jumping out of their buildings every 5 minutes or blowing their brains out.
And then you go and look at, okay, but I'm making more money, but yeah, it's going to healthcare. It's going to offset everything that probably this paycheck that I'm working for is creating. And so I don't know. I've given it a lot of thought. Like, do I really want to stay in the US?
Mm-hmm.
Like for retirement too? Do I want to move? 50 is kind of like an age I've been honing in on, because we're 44 now. It's pretty damn close. It's like,
it is close.
It sneaks up, and it's just like, I don't want to be looking back and thinking, oh my God, I hate where I'm at. I feel so far away from where I feel like I want to be. I can't tell you where I want to be or what I want to do, but I feel so far away from it. Like, I don't want to feel like that.
No, I understand. We almost moved to Canada. That was our goal. It was like several years ago. We never actually got to go look at places, but we were like dead set and telling our family and friends that we were moving.
Yeah.
Because we just wanted, I don't know, just something different. But we didn't necessarily want to leave Detroit. We just also hated like what was happening here and healthcare and all that stuff, and it's not, I mean, granted, healthcare is free in Canada, but in speaking to a lot of the Canadian employees that also work in Detroit, they complain about their healthcare system a lot. And
because
England, it's so slow.
England has the same issue. Do you know now that their quote free healthcare, they're actually being asked to buy private healthcare insurance now too?
Oh, that's weird.
To supplement, but their taxes already pay for their healthcare, but now they're being asked. Yeah, and it's the same thing. It's like you're going to wait 6 months to get in to check out a bum knee that you're going to have replaced. Here you do have a wait time, and it is far much more pricier. But how long do you want to wait?
Right.
I don't know. But I also consider too is there's a lot of people that I have found on Instagram that live outside of the country. Like, they moved to Mexico. There's some really nice places in Mexico. It's not all ran by the cartel. I mean, maybe it is, but they keep those places nice, right? Because they have expatriates from the US coming in. So there's huge populations down there. So there is good healthcare, cheaper healthcare. Cost of living is way less. You have better food. And, my uncle moved to Portugal a couple of years ago. And again, it's kind of similar over there, is that it's the cost of living is not as much. I mean, the food is far superior than here in the US. I think from a standpoint of like, it's not such processed bullshit. It's just a lot of fresh food that they fix. And, the way I remember living in Italy, and it's just like every day you stop off at the market on your way home because you're picking stuff up to cook that day.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas here it's like, I'm going to go, like, I'm sure after this podcast, I've got to go to the freaking grocery store.
So do I.
I have no food.
Right.
I have no food. I'm like, oh, great. I've got banana chips and rotting strawberries. Doesn't sound great.
What are you talking about? That sounds delicious.
I've got some peanut butter and tortillas. Maybe I can make something out of that.
A crepe.
A peanut butter quesadilla. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
Doesn't that sound lovely? Sounds like I'm back in college again, It's I guess it'll just be ramen or ramen.
Yeah. No, there were times. It's so funny when I lived with Renee. there were times that I would actually eat saltines with Taco Bell sauce because the packets, they gave you so many anytime you ever got Taco Bell. And I would just eat them on a cracker because I was so broke as a joke. And I worked 3 jobs, so I didn't have, I was not going to
You didn't have time to cook.
No.
You weren't home.
Crackers, yeah.
Like you came home to sleep.
That was it.
That was it. And I remember like during the school year, I usually had 1 job. And then during the summer, I had 3 or 4 jobs. I mean, you were working 80, 90 hours a week, and yet somehow we still managed to get drunk. I
have no idea. Yeah.
Like that.
Water and vodka.
Chasing
vodka with water. That's how.
And it's just like, but I did that because then I could store all that money up for the coming semester. So I didn't have to work as many hours.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But I still look back to that and I still had a hell of a time. Like
I did too.
When I was sitting at brunch today with some of my friends, I was like, you know something, at this time back in college, we would have been out for the summer. I probably would have been taking a summer class, working, 70, 80 hours, 90 hours, 3, 4 jobs, but I fucking had a great time. And I think it was that sense of just, I don't want to say freedom, but I just want to, there was just a sense of maybe responsibility. Like it was just going and working. Like that was the level of responsibility we had. That was it. And the jobs, you clocked in, you clocked out, you were fucking done when you walked out of that place. And I think mentally, like that helped because you were done. You were done until you walked back in there on your next shift.
I think a lot of like, it's so funny to me. Like I'm really happy in my life now, but I always tell Jason, like, sometimes when I was that broke and struggling that much is when I was also the happiest.
Some of the happiest, yeah.
It's so odd.
And it's so odd. It is because you're taught
like, I don't want to go back to that.
Right. Believe you me, I enjoy having the money that I do and the ability to go do things that I want to do. You know what?
And here I am drinking out of a red cup. It's red pop, but hey, and by the way, viewers, the reason that I'm using this is because I've had them for probably 3 or 4 years.
Because you buy 500 at a time.
Well, yeah. So, and I don't remember what I got these for. It must have been a barbecue or something, and then we didn't need them. So they've been in my cabinet forever. So now I'm like, I need to get these bitches out without just throwing them away.
Right.
So that's why I'm using it.
You should open up a lemonade stand downstairs.
I should just, yes. Be like, please take the cup with you.
Please I don't want the cup.
I don't want it back.
I don't want it back. I don't need it. Just make sure you recycle. Thank you. Have a great day. The lemonade's free. Just take the fucking cup. Just go. Just go. Get it out. Get it out. I'm going to be here for the next, 5 weeks at least, depending on the number of people. It may be through the rest of the year. I don't know. And I could change over to hot chocolate if I'm fucking here long enough and it gets cold.
As long as it doesn't melt the damn red cup.
Right.
Fine.
I can't.
And if you get some kind of disease from plastic melting into your system, don't come for me.
Right.
Sign this.
You don't know.
Sign this release, by the way.
Right. Yeah. But no, I mean, sometimes being that broke was just so much fun because everybody around you was. I think that was the key thing. Everybody around you was, so you didn't have the ability to compare yourself because, I'm comparing myself to somebody that's eating saltines with Taco Bell sauce. And I'm over here eating ramen and putting ketchup on it. I mean, it's not like I have anything more, Michelin star based over here.
And the good thing that you could be like, hey, Amanda, do you want to come over and drink some Burnett's vodka and shoot it with water? And you'd be like,
fuck yeah, I do. Sounds like the best time ever. Hey, you got those.
And then go watch Drag Queens.
Yeah.
And not buy a single drink at the bar.
No, because we pre-party.
You can't afford it.
We pre-party.
Right. That is so funny. Oh,
but it was
true.
I think it was just a lack of responsibility, and I think it was because everybody around you was in the same boat. Nobody was a fucking multi-millionaire,
and nobody judged you. You remember it was kind of like, well, we're in school. What the fuck? I mean, everybody. It's still an ongoing joke when you hear it on TV and everything. They're like broke college kids. It's a thing.
It's a thing, and it should be a thing. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about that right there. Like, don't worry about it. Go get a shitty ass fucking job with your friends that you all have fun at, that you clock out, you go home, you're not taking your job with you, because believe you me, for the next 40 fucking years of your life, you're going to be. Yeah. So just don't. Enjoy the fact that, you know, well, I guess there's no dollar menu anymore, but back in the day when there was, you know, go do that. Nobody would. Yeah, you went to Denny's so you could get whatever, you know, Grand Slam $4.99 at the time. That was a fucking steal. You know, McDonald's was actually cheap food at that time. I mean, now anymore, you're paying $15 for one person to go there and get a Big Mac meal. It's like, fuck this shit. I'll you know, put the $15 to a $25-$30 meal.
Right. If you're halfway there, you might as well go all the way.
You might as well go all the way and get a decent meal. That
should be their new theme or whatever. Tagline. Yeah, like McDonald's. You're already halfway there. You might as well go all the way. Meaning go somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh my God. I wanted to get just a Diet Coke there. I think it was this last week. Why in the fuck can people not figure out the 2 lanes on the drive-thru?
Oh, yeah. And they just kind of sit in the middle.
No, yeah, because there's one asshole and it's like, well, geez, I'll make a decision on which one is moving faster. No, you fuckhead. Get into one.
And you're committed.
And go.
Be committed.
Commit to a fucking lane, stay in it. The other thing was I sat there for like 3 minutes and nobody was moving. I'm like, what in the fuck is going on? I mean,
who is working in this place?
Well,
you know, they make like $21 an hour now, so they don't have to work that hard.
Oh my God.
I'm totally kidding. Don't come for me, kids.
Right. Well, they are in California. I think they make $20 an hour in California.
No, I wasn't joking with that.
Yeah.
Taco Bell does the same. Taco Bell starts at 17 and 18 now. But can you imagine making that when we were in college? I mean, inflation and all that, whatever, finance crap.
That would have been insane. I think when I worked at Subway, because I was a shift lead, I don't even think I was making $10 an hour. I think it was like $9.25.
You know, when I was hired at Union, whatever it was.
Oh
no,
yeah.
University
division. Yeah.
I was hired at $10, and do you know when I got told I was going to be making $10 an hour, I was like,
same here, because that's what they hired me at, and I was like, you're fucking kidding me, really? $10? Yes.
I was like, I can't believe I'm making $10 an hour.
That made such a difference too. Yeah, I know, like
$10.
Yeah, our last year.
If somebody tried to offer me $10 now, I would spit in their face and poop on their chest.
I mean, I have no words for that at the moment. Like that's some severe reaction to $10 an hour. I mean,
I'd be so offended.
I'd be like, fuck off and walk away. I mean, but dropping your pants, that takes an extra level of commitment to be pissed off at being offered subpar wages.
Well, now you know not to mess with me.
You know, the only other time that I think I got $10 an hour was when I babysat. Like in high school, there was a family that I babysat for. I think it was a fellow teacher that my aunt worked with. And I mean, it was like 3 hours that I'd work, you know, max or something like that. And I was like, you know, $30 ain't bad.
Right. For 3 hours? Shit.
For 3 hours, yeah.
I'd do it. I mean, I don't know if I'd do it without murdering a baby, but.
Well, yeah. I mean, if that wasn't written in the fine print, well, then anything went, right? So what you're saying is that if he gets out of hand.
The baby has to live? Oh. Okay.
Well, then that changes things. I don't know if I can commit to that.
Right. I might need to ask for a little bit more money. I mean.
But it was. I think just being so. I think that was it. Just you were just living day to day. It didn't matter. You didn't you knew eventually once you got out of college that you were going to have to quote buckle down and come up with a career plan, which oh God, we could spend hours on how much bullshit that fucking is. Yeah. But do you know, I got thinking about this the other day. But when I graduated, I want to say there, like, out of a group of like 10 or 11 of us from the Kelley School of Business that I became very tight with, very cool with,
Yeah.
at least half of us went back later to school for something entirely different.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know what? At that point, I was like, college can be such a fucking waste of money.
Yes.
Like, I just wish that I don't know how you'd make it better. Or, I mean,
I've thought about this.
But I'm just like
something needs to change because nobody at 18
knows what the fuck they want to do.
What they're gonna do.
I'm still trying to figure it out now at 4 years old. I'm like, okay, I know I probably got a couple years in this job just based on what we do. I wouldn't be surprised if, somebody comes and scoops us up, whatever it is, or just in general. I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore because I am kind of getting to that point of like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do after this job because I don't want to do the same thing again. But it's just like, okay, well, what does that mean then? And I've got nothing.
Don't you wish your degree could almost and I know this is like something from the movies, but don't you wish like the degree that you went to could just be a moving target for your whole life?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know what? Now I want to do this and try this out. So you still got all of that
knowledge from the
experience, credit for that degree, and it helped you no matter where you went. Like, obviously there would be other training and stuff, but I just wish the degree actually did more for us through our whole life, not just at the beginning, because I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do.
Right. And I think unless you do, like my brother Nick, he knew from itty bitty he wanted into science. That was his goal. He went into that.
And some people know.
Exactly. And that's when those degrees actually help because they're so concentrated. But these people know that and they love that. And that's where they want to be. But I go back to your point. For the majority of us, we don't know. We 100% don't
And the problem
know.
is the schools, the way that these advisors act and treat you is you have to pick a major.
You have to.
You have to. Or they can't direct you into the right courses and classes to make that happen, which is no fault of theirs. But that's their job. They have to do it. So it's the pressure of it is so much. And I remember going into IU when I got accepted in there, I remember thinking, I have no idea. I obviously I wanted to do music, but then when I saw what people major in music, I was like, I don't want to do any of those things. I don't want to be a trained classical pianist. I didn't want that. I did the classes. I didn't like it. I wanted to just write my own music and make money off that. Well, that's not a college course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you have to pick something.
Yeah,
so you settle for less.
Exactly. And you pay a lot for it. And
I'm still paying for it.
Right. Oh God. It's amazing to me. Like you should not go into debt for education.
Education is so detrimental that yes, it should not be something you have to choose between your future because of money. It's dumb. It's such an archaic way of thinking.
And it's far much more expensive than when we were there. I mean, I am blown away by how much in-state tuition, not room and board, tuition. Because I think the tuition alone now for like a year at IU is like probably what, $12,000, $15,000. That was all inclusive for us. That was the resort price.
Right.
For us, Yeah. Like, and even that, it's just like, I just don't.
Living in Ashton when Ashton actually existed at IU, that's where I lived. For myself in that tiny ass little room,
a closet.
It almost cost the same that I pay for this entire apartment in downtown Detroit for 1 month.
Way back then?
Yes. It was over $700 a month to live in Ashton. And that was just to live in Ashton. That didn't include books, to anything else, tuition.
What's even funnier about that? Half those fucking dorms didn't even have AC. So what am I paying
Ours
for?
Didn't. No, ours didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. I didn't have anything in there.
Yeah.
It was literally a room with one closet and an outlet for my TV. And I had a little fan that I had to buy from like Target or something to blow air in because it was so freaking hot
Yeah.
in the summer.
Yes. Yes. No, I just,
Ah,
oh God. I mean, good times. I'm not, the whole sit system kind of sucks though.
yeah.
I just don't, and I look at our generation and how things have so drastically changed with how corporate jobs work or just jobs in general, career in general. It's really rendered a lot of that college degree pointless,
Unnecessary. Yeah.
unnecessary completely. It's like you're basically making me take bullshit classes just to prove that I can get through life. Well, why don't we just go for a 2-year degree of just core classes of what I have interest in?
Hmm.
Go out and fundamentally do it, because if I'm going to be an accountant, right, which I am, how the fuck is US history going to help me with that?
Right. Yeah.
It's
And
not.
you don't learn
It's
what you're going to
not.
do
No.
in those classes.
You
just
take
don't.
bullshit class. Well, it's a well-rounded education. I just came from high school, you dicks. Like
Right.
like if I didn't get a well-rounded education at that point coming out, then I don't 4 more years is not
Right.
gonna make me
Mhm.
well-rounded. No.
Right.
What does is experience, and I wish it was more hands-on, almost
Me
like
too.
like the trades. Like,
Mhm.
go learn the basics of like whatever the area is that you want, and then go into it. Because
Right.
I'm sorry, for business and accounting, half of what I do now has come straight through experience,
And never from school. Yeah.
never from
I mean,
school.
how many times have you had to actually know how to find the circumference of a triangle to do a job for a client?
Yeah, I mean that one.
I don't
So
even think
many
that's
times I've lost count. I don't even think it's a thing.
I don't even either because I don't think circumference on a triangle is a thing.
I don't think
I'm
it
talking
exists.
about the perimeter.
Yeah,
See, this is how much math that kind of math
but you
did
know what?
not matter.
And you know the one thing that we leave high school and we leave college not knowing, fucking taxes,
How to balance a
mortgages,
checkbook. Yeah.
credit cards,
What
like
insurance
where our
is.
taxes go for, like
Yeah,
how
I
to
had
read
no
taxes.
idea about
No
insurance.
idea.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm supposed to get health insurance at some point, but I had known nothing
How
about
do I
it.
do this?
Right. Where do
What
I
do I
even
need to
start?
look for?
Right.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
just like basic shit like that. You want me to be
Yeah.
well-rounded, but I can't even do my own fucking taxes?
Right.
Like, there's a problem.
Mhm.
There's a problem, but God forbid, yeah, I know Pythagorean theorem because that's going to help me every day.
Every single day. yes.
Every day I get on the road. God damn it, I am so blessed to know Pythagorean theorem. I'm going to
Right.
fucking nail this life. I'm going to nail it. It's going to
Yes.
be a home run every day. Praise Pythagorean. It's
The
fine.
way you said Pythagorean.
Paragotheorism. I'm glad, I'm at the Church of Paragotheorism.
Mhm.
It's been helpful. It's been
Oh,
helpful. Yeah.
So many of those things. But and then the books you buy that basically you never have to read through, but you had to have them.
Well, you had to
Um,
have them, and you had to
And they
look
were
for
like
used.
$300
for
for
used.
one.
For
Yeah.
used, yeah. And it was just
Yeah.
like, what is the
Yeah.
what? No.
Yeah.
No.
What was it called? Something T at IU.
What was it?
The
TIS?
bookstore. TIS.
I think it was
Mhm.
TIS because that was the
Yeah.
cheaper one.
That was
You
the
could go
only.
to the-
Yeah.
Well, they had
If
the
you went onto the
bookstore
one
in
on by our building
Memorial.
where we worked, yes,
that
they were
was
expensive in
that
there.
was more expensive in there.
Got a damn keychain that even said IU on it. There was like $35
Yeah.
for a keychain.
It's like I'll make my own. Just get me a
Right.
Sharpie and a piece of leather. We're out there making our own. We'll
Mhm.
hand them out with the red Solo cups. One
Yes.
for you, one for you, one for
Yeah.
you. Because every fucking party you went to, you paid like $3 for all you can drink beer, and you got a red Solo cup.
Right.
That's where those bad boys came from. I wonder if people do that. I wonder if that's just like a
I don't know.
carryover.
I had a lot of fun at some of those frat houses, but I was always concerned about their level of cleanliness.
I was just gonna say that the cleanliness. I'm like, what is going on here? I feel like I'm gonna
like your
leave
shoes
with-
would stick to the carpet when you walked through
Yeah.
the living room,
and
the
you're like,
living
wow,
area.
this is carpet. Oh, okay,
Right.
that's interesting.
And
why did we go with carpet?
And the
Why did
fact
we
that
go with
those,
carpet? It's like the CBS issue again.
yes,
Frat house, why put carpet in there? You need to make sure you can hose that down at any point in time. Scrub brush and hose it.
they paid so much to be in those frat houses.
And they were shit.
I had friends that cried because they did not get accepted into the sorority or frat houses, and I'm like, why would you want to live there?
I did rush. I rushed twice because my mom was a Kappa Delta, and so technically I was a legacy. And normally those are a shoo-in. They didn't ask me. I am a legacy. They didn't ask me to join. And my mom was infuriated because it's a big deal to give money to your sorority. So she stopped. She's never had anything to do with them again. I was like, well, you do what you want to do. Right. I don't know why you'd give money to them anyhow. Yeah. You know what the other thing is I've never given money to IU since I graduated.
I haven't either. No, I'm like,
I don't understand.
You guys took all my money.
You took all my fucking money. I'm still paying on it. Like, grateful. I don't
want more.
Yeah. Like, no. This doesn't work like that. Mm-hmm. Well, it goes for X, Y, and Z. No, it doesn't. I know it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No, because all the new kids you bring in, none of them are getting our money. You're making them pay. Like, where is this money going? It's just going into the pockets of the
administrators and other special interests, because if it was really going to the kids, then we would hardly see the increase in prices of going to college that we have seen. And I was just like, absolutely not. You will never get a dime from me.
I get it.
Never
all the time.
Get a dime from me.
Yeah. I get letters of like,
that.
About something like, don't you want to be part of the alumni association? No. How about you pay my bills off and then I'll join?
Yeah, right. When I have that extra free $500 to be a lifetime member. Now, my mother bought that for me as like a graduation gift, so that's fine. But I get the magazine, the IU alumni magazine.
Does anything even matter?
No, it's boring as shit. When I open it up, I was just like, oh, this is a highlight of anybody who's ever gone to IU, which I guess that's kind of the point of it, is like, look how great we're doing.
AARP for graduates.
I mean, honestly, it's just like, look how great IU is. I'm just like, well, look, that was a time in my life.
I don't need a magazine about it.
That was a time in my life. I'm glad these people are doing great, but I think it would mean more to me if I actually saw them in a publication for their particular industry, because they're rocking it out in their industry. Of course, you're going to do a massive glow up in their IU. Of course you are. Yeah. Because you're not going to say, well, our mediocre PhD candidate that graduated 20 years ago has roughly found a cure for cancer. And when we say roughly, it means it's non-existent, but they're doing good work.
Yeah. They're not paying attention to alumni.
No, it's a very odd concept to give money to your alma mater.
Yeah.
When they're state funded to start with, and when you're paying to go there, I'm just like, I don't understand that. And I mean, I think the only time that people really give generously to that is because they want their fucking name on a building. I don't care. I don't give a flying fuck.
I don't either.
You're walking into the Amanda Hayes School of fucking fill in the blank. But school of nonsense, because that's what your degree is going to be on. And then and I'm sure we left the school too thinking like, I've got a degree, this means I'm worth so much. No,
I thought that, and I was wrong.
You're so wrong. I think COVID proved that toilet paper had more value than a degree did.
Yeah, anybody that believes that when they go to college they're going to leave and find that job that pays them a huge amount of money and they're going to be so happy and excited. Okay, that may be the 5% of anyone, because that is a broken ass
Dream.
it's a fake ass dream. That doesn't happen to anyone that I've ever met.
Not to mention, but I think like there are studies out there that show that as your salary climbs, there's a leveling off point that's honestly pretty low. Like once you hit 100K, it's like you don't derive that much more happiness from your salary.
Money don't. Is not. Yeah.
It's not. It's not. And I think that's why I've kind of got thinking. I was like, okay, after this, in about, I'm just going to say 3 years, we'll throw that out there.
Yeah.
Because that's about how often like you're kind of moving around. It's like, I'm going to be in my mid 40s. I'm going to be less desirable of a candidate. So what am I going to do? I mean, I'm going to have to start finding something to do for myself that I can create my own money, be my own boss, because I'm going to be fighting the ageism issue. We all are, and it's just, what do you do?
Yeah, I think about it also. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm still trying to maybe get into leadership with this company, but companies move at the rate of molasses in the winter. So like, it doesn't matter how hard I work or prove myself. It depends on your company and how much they need leaders and all that stuff. But this conversation could go on for 5,000 years. We've been on here for an hour.
I know. I just saw that.
I can't. It's so easy to just talk about this shit. We didn't get to talk about the pets, but
we'll
do
okay. That on the next one. Yeah.
And sure. I think that's okay.
Yeah, I do too. I kind of realized that like at 51 minutes, I was like,
pets aren't happening. Yeah.
That's not going to happen today, which is fine. That means it didn't need to happen today.
Exactly.
So
I told you we would just flow how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, that sounds gross.
Flow how it goes. Yeah, that kind of sounds like a tampon is needed.
It does.
Somewhere.
It does.
Aisle 4. Yeah. We need a tampon.
Those gush moments. Ugh. All right. Well, it's been so great talking to you.
Absolutely.
Don't forget, because we record them locally now, you can't leave.
I can't leave.
After the recording.
Which is cool because I want to talk to you a little bit more at time. So
okay. Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for joining us.
Again,
in 2 weeks.
Send
the
your
next
topics.
One is June 1st.
June 1st. We're good with June
topics.
1st. Send your topics. We are, heads up, going to be talking about pets. They're near and dear to our hearts, and I think a lot of people can sympathize with us on that. And then some of the losses that we've experienced with our pets, and the fact that we want to drive home. It is critically important in our lives, the role that they play, and that the grief you have with it is fucking real. And there should be no shame in that at all.
Right.
So
and I think it's going to be a great topic because, we're always on here, we're bullshitting, we talk about a lot of serious stuff, and that's going to be a serious one. We're going to still keep it light and friendly.
Oh, we'll find a way to make it funny.
Yeah.
We will find a way.
I think it's important because we've all had it.
We've all had it. We've all lost something. And I think humor is so important to me. I think it's important to you. Just
oh my gosh,
some of our experiences that we had in life, like, man, you got to find a way to laugh at it, because if not, it's a depressing dark hole that you're going to fall down. And it's life. It's life. And I think I wish that's one thing I would have wish I would have had a better grasp on leaving college and entering in the real world of, you are going to have, you cannot control the outcome. You can control the effort that goes into it, but you cannot control the outcome. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you do everything right. Everything you've been told, shit will happen to you, unfortunately.
You cannot plan for the unplanned.
No. That's why you got to have humor. And that's why we laugh at each other.
And that's why we do this, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. So thanks for being with us on a Sunday.
Yes.
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.